Happy weekend, brunchers. I am Bailey Manu.
And I'm Uncle Collin.
And this is Too Much for Brunch. Did you prefer Unbreakable to Rebel Heart?
I think as a comprehensive album, I do prefer Unbreakable to Rebel Heart. I actually like them both, and I'm not one to even really compare, but I can listen to Unbreakable from start to finish, and I really enjoy it without having to do skips. Rebel Heart, there's some songs where I'm sort of like, if I'm not skipping, I'm just sort of like checking out mentally, so.
You see, I feel the other way. I feel like I gotta listen to Rebel Heart. Rebel Heart is like 23 songs on it, and I really do, except for one. I do not like Body Shop. I think I just deleted it off my phone, and it's not on my computer, so I don't have to deal with it. It was too much for brunch, and I really couldn't take it. Very that. I really don't like Body Shop. But just comparing the two, I think the biggest comparison of why I don't like Unbreakable as much is because I really feel like Madonna was still thinking outside the box and still challenging society and still challenging herself, where I feel like Janet Jackson and her team saw the backlash that Madonna received and all the ages, and people basically just saying she was too old to have any sort of fun at all. And she just made a very safe album.
I feel like what Janet did was she basically matured, which was something that I have wanted Madonna to do while still being Madonna, but maturing to a certain level. I feel like in the last several years, she struggled with sort of like how to mature and still challenge listeners. And lyrically and things like that, I feel like she regressed. Whereas with Janet,
it is very that. Yeah. Very, very that. I think it's almost a lighter version of Velvet Rope, especially the title track Velvet Rope, Special was from Velvet Rope, and then Better Days from All For You. I feel like those songs are very, very that. I do not dislike Unbreakable, but I don't think being mature means you stop having fun. Now, there's definitely moments on Rebel Heart where I'm like, did a 7th grader write this?
Yes.
But it works the best on Bitch on Madonna because she's making that point that she can do whatever she wants. It's one of those things. It's a sing-song kind of song, and she's kind of poking fun at herself. And even though I'm biased album, I'm still Madonna at the end of the day.
Which is why I love Bitch by Madonna is probably my favorite track off the album.
My favorite song off of Rebel Heart was actually Holy Water, but that's because I like songs about oral sex. Aside from that, my favorite song is one of the more mature songs, which was Joan of Arc. I think Joan of Arc is the strongest song on that album. Now there's 2 versions of Joan of Arc, and because of the leak, she released like that more poppy kind of Taylor Swift sounding one. But there is a demo version, and it's all over YouTube, and it's just her, and it's more acoustic, and it's a little slower. And I really think that's like a really honest song from Madonna. I really like it. She didn't perform it on the tour for some reason, but I really liked it. The slow songs are Unbreakable, I'm like, next. But the slow songs on Rebel Heart, I love them. I love Joan of Arc.
I agree. I mean, I love a lot of those songs as well. It's just, you know, comprehensively as a whole was sort of where I'm coming from. And also I feel like with Rebel Heart, there were so many songs on there. In some ways, I felt it was a bit overload because things get lost in the shuffle.
Rebel Heart was just a really strong pop album, but it was not as cohesive as Hard Candy. It definitely wasn't as cohesive as Confessions. Confessions was just a flawless, very, very good album. But then I think, we're talking about her maturity, I think she reached her like maturity peak in like Ray of Light.
I still feel Confessions is very much a mature album. It's her as a 40-something woman at the time singing about a lot of songs and having fun on the dance floor. You know, and I mean, like, it was like, yeah, I can still dance, I can still have fun, but I'm still about something. And also I feel like what has happened to her is that she was still being played on the radio. She was still, you know, she could still come up with hits. And what happened, as soon as she sort of hit 50, it was like, oh wait, we don't want to play someone older unless they're teamed up with someone younger, hence, you know, 4 Minutes with Justin Timberlake and stuff like that. And then I feel like each album going forward, she has been trying to sort of get a pop-friendly sound so that she could be top 40. And I think, unfortunately, that has hindered sort of what I would say is some of her creativity.
And I think that's one place where, 2 places I'll say, where Janet excelled is because she had so much time to craft like exactly what she was going to say. It's also her first album since Michael Jackson died, so that's a huge influence. There are some songs in the album where she sounds so much like Michael, it's really weird.
It's chilling, but it's also very, I think in some ways it was almost like she was embracing that because for years she was still being compared to Michael Jackson, even though she is a huge pop star in her own right. It made no sense that people were still comparing her.
You know what's funny? I never honestly thought she really sounded that much like Michael.
She didn't, and she never did, and she purposely, I think all the music that she made purposely, she did not want to sound like Michael. And I think that what this was that she embraced some of his sound to sort of pay a tribute to him, and also to sort of say to people, I don't care if I sound like Michael. I'm proud of the fact that I can sound like him because my brother was an amazing amazing artist and I loved him so much. Janet just wanted to make music. That was why she came out with this album, and she wanted to do something for her fans and not about trying to fit a mold and pop radio, R&B radio would have.
I think that's a really good point. Unbreakable was very much for her fan base. And whereas Rebel Heart was still like, I need to be #1, I need to be on iTunes, I need to be top 40. I definitely think that's a huge part of the differences between the two albums.
Yeah, and I wonder if now that Madonna has done Rebel Heart, if her next album will be more for the fans, or if she's finally sort of gotten this out of her system, because she really has tried so hard to make these singles happen, and you know, they sold okay. She never hit top 40 at all. She hit top 100 with a couple of the singles, but some stuff never even charted, and it wasn't played. And that was the thing. These songs should have been played, and they could have been played because they sounded just like the stuff that was on the radio, or better than the stuff on the radio. Ghost Town should have been adult contemporary at least.
Ghost Town was definitely absolutely super radio friendly, and then she even performed with Taylor Swift as a bid to get top 40, and it didn't really help. It helped for like a day. So that's our episode for this weekend, Brunchers. I really want to hear what people think about the media still pitting these women against each other, even though Unbreakable and Rebel Heart are not competing with each other.
It'd be wonderful if you could also talk about some of the songs on the albums that you like. You don't even have to compare them to each other. Just sort of curious, especially with Unbreakable being the newer one.
Join the conversation here, and you can comment on the video, or you can come along to facebook.com/toomuchforbrunch and talk about it there. And you can even join us at our home website, toomuchforbrunch.com. If you feel so moved, you can follow me on Twitter at TMFB_Bailey.
Or you can follow me at Collin_Gehl. That's COLLIN_GEHL.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!